this video, I'm going to show you how to create a Last Logon report of all your Active Directory users. This report will get the last logon date for all users, and you can also get them for specific users or users in an OU. So when a user logs in, and you can view this by opening up an account and going to the attribute editor. When an account authenticates to the network, it will update the last logon attribute. It'll also update the last logon timestamp, but this last logon timestamp attribute has a delay, and it's not meant to be used for creating last logon reports. This attribute is used for finding old and inactive users. It was designed that way by Microsoft. Like I said, it's got a slight delay, as you can see here. This last logon is newer than this one. But one of the challenges is this last logon attribute is not replicated. So to get an accurate report, you would need to get this value from all your domain controllers. So let's look at this in PowerShell, and then I'll show you an easier way to do this with this Last Logon Report GUI tool. So in PowerShell, you can just run the get AD user command and then look at all the properties, and I'll show you what this looks like in PowerShell. So there's the last logon attribute, but it's not converted into a friendly format. And then there's the last logon date, which is converted, as you can see here, but it's a conversion of the last logon timestamp. So to do this in PowerShell, one, you'd have to convert the timestamp, which isn't a big deal, but then you'd have to get all the users from all the domain controllers and then filter that to display the most recent logon. So let me show you how to do this with the AD Pro Toolkit. You just click on Last Logon Report, and you can specify a time. I'll do all at all times, and then I'll just click Run. So now I've got a logon report, and I've got a bunch of users that have never logged in, so the last logon timestamp is empty. But you can see now I've got an accurate report of all my accounts, their most recent logon, and it also will show you the most recent DC they authenticated to. It also includes the last logon timestamp. You can click on columns, and you can add other user attributes. But you can then export this to a CSV, Excel file, or PDF, and then you've got a report of all users and their last logon time. And you can also use this time drop down. Maybe you just wanted the most recent logons for the last 90 days. You can select that and click Run. And now it's just going to give me the most recent logons from the last 90 days. And then if you wanted to, maybe you just want to run a report for a specific OU, you can click the Browse button and select, specific OU or multiple OUs to run that report. But again, this tool makes it really easy because it'll do all the calculations in the background. To do this in PowerShell, it's a complicated script. But if you wanted to, I'll just give you. Let me pull up the command. So here's the command that will get all users, the last logon date, and then it'll convert that last logon attribute into a friendly format. So this will get that last logon attribute from a single domain controller, and it's also getting the manager attribute. So let me remove that. I'm just going to take this manager attribute out and run it again. So here's that last logon attribute with the time conversion with PowerShell. But again, you'll have to run this on all domain controllers and then figure out which one is the very recent, most recent. For example, this timestamp here is from my DC1 domain controller. So you'd have to run this on all your domain controllers and then look at this timestamp for each user and determine which one is the most recent. But again, if you use this Last Logon Report, it'll do it all for you. You just literally click run, and it'll do all that work for you. And then you can, like I said, export this to whatever format you want. So that's it for this video. I will put a link in the notes that you could download this tool and try it out in your own domain. That's it. Thanks for watching.